welcome to the AEW Dynamite preview. We are the Dudley Boys of What Culture. I'm Adam Wilbourn, joined by Michael Hamflett and Michael Sidgwick, here to look ahead to tonight's episode of AEW Dynamite. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to What Culture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube. We do daily wrestling podcasts where we not only review AEW Dynamite, but also AEW Collision, Raw, SmackDown, the show formerly known as NXT 2.0. Pay-per-views, premium live events. We have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a round of the week complete with a bloody good quiz, of course, on Wrestle Culture. As I said, though, joined by Hamflett and Sidgwick to look ahead to Dynamite tonight, where the world title is on the line in a street fight.
Shut up. So, look, I promise at some point I will stop going on about the fact that after 70 years, domestically, Newcastle United have finally won a major honour. On the way to doing that, we've beaten 1, 2, 3, 4 in the league.
You want some more?
Yeah. I will stop talking about it. I will stop watching every single camera angle. Mm-hmm. Every single post-match celebration, I'll stop it, right? Because at some point, you know, it's just going to stop. I'll turn around. I will turn around, and it'll be a case of, you know, people will have just stopped posting about it. And then by the time you think, because I am asking the question, like, it's also how people are just loving it, living it. We've got a celebration to come. But at some point, it's just people are going to stop doing it, and then you're going to realize, people have stopped doing that, and I miss that era of Twitter when it was just wall to wall, just look at this angle. Oh my God, they've found one from the Liverpool fan cam where you can just see the entire stand.
You just got to win it again next year.
Absolutely insane. I know.
Just keep winning it.
I know. But I am wondering, just when am I going to stop being obsessed with this? When am I going to get brought crashing down to earth? Oh, thank you, Mox and Cope, because that's going to make us miserable. Like, the thing is, here's the thing. I didn't want to see the match in the first place. This is boring match, boring feud, drain on your emotional investment, the blockage that is preventing AEW from approaching something close to, not the best version of itself. I contend that that's impossible. We'll never get 2021 back. The set of circumstances were too ideal. But the best it can be. The best it can be. Impossible with Mox as champion. Impossible with Cope. People should have called it Cope first. They didn't. So what does that say about the term of endearment? No one really endears you enough to do that. You know what I mean?
Self-imposed nicknames are so funny, aren't they?
I know, you can't do that. You're not allowed. So he's done this.
My mate Martin telling us all, I want to go by the big dog now. Sorry, Martin. It's still good mates to this day, but it's like the year 2000. Call me the big dog.
Why?
He gets it now as a piss to it.
Yeah.
Big dog. D-O-double-G, obviously, because he was still around. Oh, no, wait, he's still around. It just didn't do that one time. He probably lost 6 months of that.
Yeah.
He woke up that day. I think I want you to call me Big Dog. It's like, well, we might start doing that, but I don't think you're going to want it.
Yeah, Big Dog. So I didn't want to see it in the first place. Boring match plus boring story plus weapons. Is there a little shortcut to see, right, okay, let's just try and get like violent spots get over, almost irrespective of who's doing them at times. Like a table, if I'm not over, a table is, you know?
Yeah.
That's, I think, the philosophy driving this match. But it's not that simple in AEW. Yes, we want tables. A table spot's always going to get over. But in terms of like really changing that narrative of these guys stink and I am bored, like that is taken root. A lot of people feel that, or rather don't feel it. I don't think a good table spot's going to change that. And I don't think that they have it in them. Creativity, the sentiment of the crowd, like the synergy between the crowd and the performers, both of them wanting it. Who wants it? like they're gonna have to kill each other to make this worthwhile. And people have killed each other in AEW in far more dynamic and creative settings. Like, put it this way, that the bar is too high for them to clear. I don't think shortcuts can save these blokes. Like, unless it's Hamflett, I'll let you say what you think's going to happen. I won't put words in your mouth, and I'll give you time to talk eventually. Does Cope have the creativity in him? He had a fun plunder match with Christian Cage. It was really fun with the hockey fight and all the rest of it. Does he have that true creative flair of a Hangman Page to take his child's finger paints, staple them to the cheek of Swerve Strickland, and then drink his blood and spit it out and create like an iconic image born from this wonderful bit of storytelling informed by the TV? No, first of all, they can't do anything informed by the TV because the TV has been rotten. You know what I mean? I mean, I wasn't a fan of the home invasion angle, but they made a wonderful use of it. Like, the best thing about the home invasion angle originally in 2023 is how it completely changed their lives at a fundamental level, and how they've never not adhered to that plot point.
Maybe that's why Mox
retroactively made it great. Yeah, maybe. It's the only chance he's got of stealing the show.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Based on the business.
Why is he a cat burglar? You know what I mean? So I don't think they've got the flair. I don't think, like, the shoe, they haven't got an iconic weapon. Spike. Like, there is a spiked weapon I want to see in AEW, and it's the heel, because it's all about characters and stories. And I know I sound like Bruce Pritchard, but it's true. Like, Edge can put a chainsaw near Moxley's face, and
I have a chainsaw in Moxley's.
And I'm still going to care more about that shoe. And I bloody love a chainsaw, mate.
Yeah. You've always said that.
Yep, I do. I played Doom.
I thought you were going to say, have you ever held a chainsaw there? You ever cut a tree down, Hamflett?
I'd love to do that.
Would you?
Uh-huh.
Like one of them sort of like unique sort of weekend experiences.
Yeah.
Taking Sidgwick, tree cutting.
Yeah, absolutely.
In like a nature conscious way. Working for the Forestry Commission.
That's a good thing. They're sustainable. You could just plant a new one. I would never chop one down unless a new one could be planted.
Yes.
I mean, I don't care about this, and it's going to be. I've got a feeling they're going to do some kind of like Mox cope in these environments. I'm trying to think of little shortcuts they can do to make this interesting, because it's fundamentally not interesting whatsoever. I remember Cope versus Christian World's End. He was like dropping F-bombs, wasn't he? I'll kill this guy. So Cope
doesn't do in his entrance. I need this.
Think you know me? You don't know shit, buddy.
Give it to me.
But he doesn't.
Yeah.
So they'll be doing a bit of that. Chainsaws.
You know.
You've got the weapon, though.
Yeah.
Oh, like concerto attempts.
Aye. What about a spike on spike concerto? So he puts Mox's head on a spike and he's got a second spike, and just like that. It's like a double spike.
Maybe.
No, I think, and I would have done this in Revolution, and then we wouldn't have needed a rematch. Do the WrestleMania 22 spot. Like, they are telling you that they're in some sort of like blood feud, like NWA gritty match that
Gritty,
like, has never
grindy,
existed. Yeah.
NWA style title match, and I'm going to wear neon gear for it.
They're just making stuff up to be weapons guys. And like,
when you're a cape, while we're at it.
Okay, the Rated R Superstar cape.
Oh, God.
Edge, and I mean, and him and Mick Foley used this to fantastic effect, because when they turned heel later that year and they were like, we were in the greatest hardcore match ever. Yay! And like they went to ECW and Foley was like, I do miss ECW. And the leader of ECW, Stephanie McMahon, long live the alliance. But that was forged out of the genuinely captivating hardcore match they had at WrestleMania 22, which was headlined by the big spot where Edge, I dare you to spear me through fire. And like, he looked pretty brave doing it. Like, he literally had to stare into the mouth of hell and spear Mick Foley through it. And it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So you do it tonight, make it feel organic, get Orange Cassidy out there, give him the Heimlich so he spits up all that bleach onto the table. So there's your flammable liquid.
Yes.
Bleach law. Set fire at the table. So you've got a match taking place. Chekhov's flaming table, because it's a pretty amazing visual, but you can't keep on fire too long. And then they do the tease, whatever. And Edge just does it. And Cope just does it. And, you know, It's Moxley getting here for. And then...
It's the one shortcut they've got that might work, yeah.
And they're like... Because again, like...
Hasn't he already done it?
Spear through a flaming table. We've had fire. When was the last fire in AEW?
Oof. I always remember the Cody.
It's that on his back. It's flame retardant gel, Taz, for the spot later.
Mark's coming out in his Captain Burglar jumper and it just looks like he's been out in the rain or something like that.
Derby on fire. Did they not do it at World's End?
Maybe. In the hockey fight. Derby and Jungle Boy feels like one of the last ones, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But this spot is visually so...
They'll probably do it.
Interesting that like it's the shortcut. It's the one shortcut to answer your sort of question. Is there any... I asked you this in the office.
Google images, mate.
Christian Cage, Adam Copeland did a fire spot.
Yeah. Is like I asked you this in the office, and even as I was asking it, I was like, "No, of course it's not Hamflett, you stupid idiot!" Like, there is no way, no chance that they've set this up to actually flip the belt, is there? Because it's weird that it's happening. Is it just as simple as a Jay White heel turn, and they didn't feel like the pay per view was the night for it because you were doing the Money in the Bank stuff with Christian, but they're very online. Tony Khan is online. He wants to make good. He's convinced them that there should be a make good. He wants people to forget. He wants people to forget that this all-time rated pay-per-view had a total Turkarino on last and like fool themselves into thinking, oh, that all-time pay-per-view ended with the spear through fire Colt Mox match in that way that wrestling fans do sometimes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not terrible promotion in that regard, even though it's very difficult to sell the second version of a match people didn't want the first time.
Yeah, no, it's one of those where I will say there's a certain attitude era coded intrigue to this, as I'm calling it, the title picture before Ospreay gets the all-in shot, you know, where Swerve Cope could turn heel on Swerve because they've been interacting and that's not a mistake. Or maybe it is just a little red herring of, oh, okay, well, maybe we're trying to, listen to some feedback and critique and not make it look like it's a total, what's the word I'm looking for? Total giveaway that Mox is going. Yeah. Formality, that's the one. Yeah, thank you. And, Jay White could turn on Cope.
I like how that
could
was executed.
Lose and turn on Swerve. Yeah,
he clearly had a moment to make his choice and he hit him anyway. And I thought that was quite nice. That's where Jay White's good.
If they pile enough of this schmoz stuff on top of itself in the correct order, you might get a bit of a delirium of, oh God, who knows what's going. You'd probably get a drab street fight before all that. But usually AEW kind of gives itself one narrative avenue. We've seen it with the International title series to a degree.
We're gonna rock down to narrative avenue. And we're still pushing Moxley.
Yeah.
Why?
Down in the streets there is violence and lots of burgling to be done.
Yeah, I don't care about any of this, but in the moment, maybe fire. Ooh, Jay White.
They're going to try and factor in the sort of end of the patriarchy.
Jay White needs to turn heel at some point regardless.
Yeah, because obviously Nick Wayne was the one who went through that flaming table in the match between Christian Cage and Adam Copeland as it was, and they had problems last week.
Did it not feel... I know that they did there was one promo, didn't there, before that little exchange where Christian was like, I haven't finished with this world title.
Cage still thinks he's got his title shot.
But it did kind of feel like he was finished with the world title. It was one of them very aggressive, title aspirations. Out of the way, you, because I'm out of nowhere dismantling the patriarchy where I can have a feud with Nick Wayne. That was such a sharp pivot, wasn't it, into, splitting the patriarchy now. Good.
Yeah.
Thank you for acknowledging an act is dead. And it's just the perfect distraction.
Yeah.
Like Austin getting the title shot against The Rock the night of the Deadly Game, but then Undertaker hits him with a shovel. And miraculously, he can't get back to the belt until WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
So that's how by the dinner, for me, I was thinking, Undertaker, you laughed.
I was thinking that for 30 years.
Think about the Undertaker, right? Not to, disrespect the business and nothing.
About time we got to this.
Yeah. The first time I started, Highway to Hell, I will give the Undertaker this, helped by a 70s classic rock anthem.
Yeah.
I was a little bit interested in the Undertaker.
Cahoots.
There was a bit of it. Turkarino in MSG.
Yep.
Instantly go, well, these don't have chemistry and I don't want to see them wrestle again. Oh, we're still doing this. Austin's a ref? Oh, don't know if I like any of this. God, The Rock's awesome, isn't he? Isn't The Rock great? Like, The Undertaker almost single-handedly made me realize that I think I like The Rock more than Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Thanks, Dad, man.
And then it happens again. Where, oh, Rock's a heel, and I'm kind of pissed off with you, actually, Rock, because I was starting to like you, and now you take the piss out of us. Yeah, I'm 13, 12, whatever. And then backlash. It's like, oh, well, The Rock's going to turn babyface. He's simply too entertaining. I like The Rock. I like him even more now, because what's Austin doing? Oh, yeah, he's feuding with the Undertaker again. What are we doing here? Like, what are we doing here with The Undertaker versus Austin all the time?
Oh, it's rubbish. It was rubbish.
Even, you know who agrees?
Steve Austin.
And The Undertaker.
Yeah.
Steve Austin's like, we don't have chemistry. He said that after the MSG match. God knows why they ran it for like almost a calendar year off and on after that.
Yeah.
And then Undertaker himself was like, yeah, I need to change to the American Badass because I couldn't hang with them on the mic and they were just cool and I wasn't. Mm-hmm. So thanks for that waste of a year. Thanks to The Rock as well.
Whilst we were talking about Cope, I've gone on Nickname Generator to generate us some new nicknames.
For Cope?
For us.
Oh, for us? Okay.
Yes. Put in our names.
Oh, because, yeah, all right. Okay,
so we get to give ourselves a nickname. Yeah, I like that. Yeah,
so we can say from now on, a lot of people are saying, a lot of people calling him Captain Sidgwick or Mikey Blaze. Or I think my...
stoned already.
I think my personal favourites are... Because like Sidge pops up here. And then there's like...
James, my eldest, gets called Sidjaz.
Sidjaz?
Sidjaz at school. I got Sidge or Sidgy. I never got Sidjaz, but he's Sidjaz at school.
M squared.
That's him.
Yeah.
That's good. Or I don't know...
M, sure enough, a little 2 right above it.
I might design my own logo for that, actually.
I like
and
this
then
one
with
for
my
you.
face.
Sizzle.
What?
Sizzle.
Sizzle. That's
You like do cooking. Sizzle.
Ah.
Better than Siddy. Let's be honest. I don't know why it's suggesting things like that.
Can we get Sid?
Nah.
Psycho Sidge.
Sidge or Sidgy?
Sidge Ostis.
No one was doing wordplay. Fed
In 92.
No one was doing Fed-themed wordplay in infant school.
Where am I school?
Again, lazy. Captain Hamflett.
Yeah. Captain's Russian.
Hammer Time Michael. Or Hamtastic.
Fantastic. That does sound like something I would put in bread.
What about Serrano?
What's Serrano?
Type of ham. So.
Oh, okay. I don't really like ham. I mean, I'll eat it, but I'm not.
My wife cooks a big old ham around Christmas, and like with like sort of that caramelized like top. It's like this beautiful like honey and brown sugar. Oh, it's beautiful.
I've had to like make amends with ham because it's the ham and cheese baguette at Greg's is the only one I can get because it's the only one that's not got like mayonnaise on it.
You know what you need to do instead? Don't
just
make amends.
Bully myself into liking mayonnaise.
Correct.
I've tried a
Hot,
ham, really.
beautiful chip fry with mayonnaise. That was my gateway. That was my gateway into the wonderful world of mayonnaise, which I was repulsed by.
No, it's my wife's deal. Mayonnaise with chips. Mayonnaise instead of like margarine or butter on a sandwich by choice. Like it's a just sort of generic like condiment.
Mayonnaise once you God, it's great.
Because obviously I'm not a ketchup guy, but I will say for mayonnaise, it doesn't have like. So my thing with condiments is
garlic mayo is another gateway.
That could be the one for me, and I think because I see people like. We both share a love of the greasy disc wheel garlic bread with cheese.
Yeah. Especially when it's free.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
Thank you, Cardiff. How can I take this receipt when there's no charge on it? That's amazing. Why the Sidge saying the Fed was back and free garlic bread with cheese? I was like, well, write this day down. Ain't going to be many better ones. When I see people dunking in garlic mayo, and I think this is so close to all the things I love. And yet, why can't I get involved? That might be the way. Because it's like mayo and garlic mayo and ones like it and nowhere near as like vinegary as ketchup, brown sauce, all the other condiments that kind of rule me out. Barbecue sauce, I hate.
I don't like barbecue sauce.
I'm not a huge fan.
You know what the thing with barbecue sauce as well? Like barbecue places should be my cup of tea because they're both big on meats and breads and things I like in theory. But that barbecue sauce smell overwhelms the entire restaurant. I don't even really like being in them typically.
You know what? I'm usually very much a double, triple, quadruple checker. Like when I'm packing, like when I'm ordering things, like I've got the right coffee, I've got the right coffee. Like I will like 5 times for whatever reason once upon a time, especially when it's such a waste because Domino's is pretty expensive, even if you get a deal.
Oh no!
I once just without thinking that did it because I assumed everything would have a tomato base. I once ordered a large pizza with a barbecue sauce base.
Large
I was like,
as well.
you stupid bastard.
Inedible, surely.
It was just, well, I don't hate it as much as you because I love vinegars and stuff.
Yeah.
I was just like, I can eat it, never by choice. But I was like, I'm so sad. I'm so sad.
I don't know why that happened, the barbecue base thing. Is that normal in the condiment world that they just thought, well, this is a pizza, but like they just thought, well, barbecue sauce or
It
like
was written down, I just didn't
would they
pay
make
attention.
like a mayonnaise-based pizza, for example? That's what I mean. I it's weird to me that even happens.
because it
Like, 'cause
cooks
you wouldn't even
well.
make a ketchup. It's not tomato. It's a tomato flavour thing, but it's not a ketchup
No,
base.
it's too
is
sweet,
it?
yeah.
You know.
I don't know why the barbecue thing happened. I was upset. Maybe it was like when like barbecue pulled pork became really fashionable.
Yeah,
in, like,
maybe.
early to mid 2010s. They probably imported from the America. You couldn't move without all these pop-up brisket places in the UK. So maybe that was Domino's attempt to try and like get in on that trend. It was around that time.
I'd never.
They all closed.
Yeah, they're all gone now.
They're
aren't they?
all gone. There was about 5 in Newcastle that sprung up overnight. And the first time you go, it's like, this is amazing. And the second time you go, it's like, this is actually a bit sweet.
Expensive too.
Expensive, a bit sweet. And yeah, I wouldn't mind a bit of range on your old menu. And then it just went away.
Dead.
On to the next trend. It was definitely a food trend, that one.
Pop
When
and Cleaver, we had Longhorns, all gone.
Wilbourn told me that he wouldn't be asking specifically to get his brisket with that barbecue sauce, like the weight off my
Texas.
shoulders, thinking like I can't be the one to ask, can I? But then Mr. Confident here, like it just
Freedom of speech. Freedom of eat.
imagine the dead man saying,
It's your goddamn right to ask that, sir. That's what they would have said.
"Open their
In that exact same voice and tone.
open their goddamn bread, you limey freak."
Get what you want in this country.
Also on tonight's Dynamite, we have to find out who is heading to Dynasty to face Kenny Omega, of course, for the international title. It's a 4-way tonight.
It's Speedball Mike Bailey.
Yeah, it's easy to think this show's going to suck because of Copeland Mox, but then
That's got a rule.
everything else is good. Yeah, everything else in AEW is good, but it is
Fairly certain. What's the venue? Because you haven't told us this, but I remember seeing WrestleTix where we've got an upcoming venue, yet another one with an absolutely beautiful, like, unique layout.
It's Omaha, Nebraska, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good Friends, Better Enemies was there.
No, that's next week. That's
Just
St.
thinking
Paul.
about stuff.
They're in. Hang on, leave it with me. I'll run you through the match. Orange Cassidy versus 3/4 WCPW, typical. Mark Davis, Ricochet, and Speedball Mike Bailey. You're welcome.
Right. So I expect Mark Davis is going to do the honors, but who does
what we
the-
said on Collision, didn't we?
Who does the honors to him? I think it's going to be Speedball Mike Bailey, and I've repeated myself quite often, but Kenny Omega had a match in PWG with Mike Bailey that he adored and just saw something special in Mike Bailey and has wanted to wrestle him again for years and years and years. Mike Bailey, it's a very mutual respect that exists between them. I expect this is why it's happening. It seems to be happening. It's pretty much happening. But with it being a 4-way match, the ceiling on a 4-way is like just total delirium where you don't know where the next spot's coming from, much less if there's going to be a save or, you know, there's so much potential for action, for these intricate counters and this bedlam that you don't know, like, at this moment when your mind is in this state, the last thing you're doing is being rational and thinking about, oh, well, Bailey's going to win this. The whole point is you can obscure through this, like, turbo drama almost, who's going to win. If it reaches its ceiling, this could be very, very, very good indeed. I think it'll be heavy on shtick early. Orange Cassidy, I will be astonished if he doesn't do a apathetic crane kick deal.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which I'll laugh at if it's done well. And then hopefully Mike Bailey can just kick his head off, because it's weird, Orange Cassidy. I understand why he does shtick-heavy matches. The Hechicero was a bit too shtick-heavy last week. But the next time, they've already done it one too many times. The next time, it's like Orange Cassidy's going to try and win a world title. I'm like, he just obviously doesn't care. And it's fine. It's fine. But if it's funny, I'll laugh. It's the usual rule of comedy. If it's not funny, I'll really hate it. If it's funny enough, I'll laugh and forgive him for other things and get with him when he gets serious. So I expect that to be an interaction. Ricochet could do it as well, but in a different way, by doing it really cocky, and then he could just get his face kicked in or Superman punched, and then sell that as his stooging heel character. Mark Davis, like killing Ricochet.
He's got a great ass.
Great ass. Will be really entertaining. There's a lot of scope for some cute shtick and character work. Ricochet in a 4-way will do something incredible. Mark Davis just cutting through all of them at one point deep into the match will be great.
You can see a point where he's holding all three of them up for something, don't you?
Yeah.
He's strong enough.
Yeah. Mike Bailey in a match-winning chain of offense, just doing this mad sort of like martial arts. Like, one of the coolest things about a good martial arts film is like watching one person kick multiple people's ass. You ever seen The Raid?
Oh
my God.
Mike Bailey doing Raid
seen it.
stuff.
It's unbelievable. It's like a tower block thing.
Yeah. It's a genre, the martial arts where one person kicks a lot of people's ass at once. Maybe that's why this is happening, and this reaches the ceiling of Mike Bailey, who, you know, speed boy Mike Bailey, because he does look like a kid who liked Three Ninjas High Noon at Mega Mountain and then never quite got out of that phase. But his kicks look amazing. He's obviously very skilled, and he has parlayed that into a wrestling career that I must say is quite excellent. He's really good, is what I'm saying. Maybe I'll think he's a cool badass and not someone who's really good but a bit dorky if he kicks a lot of ass at once. The martial arts stuff, when they kick a lot of people's ass, you know, it's cool.
Red ass is always kicking ass.
I mean, it's Mark Bailey here, the new dead man.
You've done it now. You're going to learn some martial arts.
Taekwondo.
Nice karate, Mike.
What is that, French?
Ever gone soup bone to soup bone with the best pure striker in the game?
Watch me shadow box.
Yeah, the Ricochet.
Certified taker.
The Ricochet spot has got to be double rotation moonsault.
Can't do it anymore.
Or 630.
630.
Onto Orange Cassidy to break up a fall. Like, the most spectacular thing he can do, but just stop Orange Cassidy winning. So they film him out a shot, and then, like, you see Ricochet land on Orange Cassidy. They're building their
And I think that's
hostility. And
I think that's going to be. They're going to match up with Dynasty. I said that from as soon as I saw the brackets. I'm like, that's good.
Feels good. And then you've
Orange Cassidy can lose to a Ricochet.
Yeah. But he doesn't, again, like, it's the idea that Cassidy has it won, so you're always clinging on to that idea that he's always in amongst it, even when they kind of really just need him as a device a lot of the time now. And then, speedball, pinning Mark Davis.
Mark Davis,
thank you. Name fell out of my head.
Bloody Galah.
Speedball.
I can't do it.
that bloody Galah. Mark Davis gets pinned,
Yeah. There's only one other match advertised for tonight, so before we talk about that, because, we'll get to it.
Is NXT good, by the way?
Oh, it's goated, as always.
Did sort of set up something potentially awesome for Stanley Roy.
Oh, what's that?
Triple threat.
Do you want to know?
Yeah, I mean,
they
kind of watch
it. Just sort of through.
Because I'm off this afternoon, you see.
They kind of acknowledge.
Oh, what are the chances? At least we'll all be back for the Dynamite review tomorrow.
I'm off tomorrow.
What are the chances?
They acknowledged that Trick and
I acknowledge you.
Oba would stink, and they've potentially thrown Javon Evans into it to make it a triple threat for Stan and Delivery.
All right.
And that's like good all the way around, because that's kind of how Obafemi got over, and Javon Evans being thrown around.
Yeah.
Like,
it's
all to put over him. The Shield. Time to play a game. Have you read any spoilers? Terrific. What name did they come up with for Retribution?
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
What name did they come up with for Retribution 2.0?
The Shield.
No.
So it can't be that bad because I was on Twitter and either no one on my timeline, that's all very different, of course,
Yeah.
cares, or it wasn't that bad that it became the laughing stock discourse of the day, but I'm assuming it is if we're playing a game. I'm going to go with... So the whole gimmick is we were overlooked for too goddamn long. Now, we're not waiting for our turn. We're taking it.
That's virtually word for word the promo that they cut outside the building, yeah.
Is it? Oh, okay. Can I have 3 guesses?
Yeah.
I think your eyes would have lit up when I said overlooked if it was the overlooked. So it's not that. And I'm going to go with the Jaded.
No.
Oh, good guess.
Wish it was, though, but no. That's going to be Jade Cargill's stable.
Disenchantment.
No, but closer.
The Husk.
No. Dark State.
What?
Yeah.
It sounds like some alt-right that comes on you for you to have.
Chuddy is f***ing it.
The Fed's so chuddy, bro.
I'm really worried about it. Really worried. Like, I don't know.
I mean, let's face it.
Yeah.
They've always been
yeah. Like,
that. But it's just so... It's getting so UFC coded.
yeah, I think that's why there's like a different strain of ick.
Yeah.
Different strain of alt-right ick.
Ultimately, probably... it's never good. But like...
You cannot wear it on your sleeve the way they are at the moment. This roast business and this guy that was... Who just out body slamming some Democrats.
Keep politics out of sports.
They ain't no politics, and that's a wrestling move.
True.
How's he put those things together? Kid Rock ain't even a comedian.
How's it too? Kid Rock. God damn. There's no end to his talent. Rap, metal, comedy.
Bar with T-bar.
What were we talking about? Oh, yeah. Do you think we'll have the rest of the members of the Hurt Syndicate responding to MVP offering MJF a place in it?
Yeah.
They might say, the hell was that?
Is it a bit of a AEW thing at the moment where, like, there's a real art in wrestling full stop. This is not an AEW or a WWE thing, I guess, where when you're hot, and those things get over and all that sort of thing. But it is actually quite difficult to keep all your hot acts hot at the same time. There's a real art to that. And have the Hurt Syndicate become the latest act to suffer from that AEW doesn't quite have right now? Tony Khan doesn't have that right. We've said this, like, for all the things that are getting right, it's lacking that one thing every week where you're like, Jesus Christ, this right now. And the Hurt Syndicate were just the must-see act of 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it's really not that long, and yet it's all like it takes one bad match or one sort
That
of...
match against the Guns even was really good. The Private Party title win ruled.
Yeah, like this one bad little run against the Outrunners or this one phasing back, like all of a sudden MVP and MJF's stuff is a bit more interesting than your tag team champions. You'd like to think they can pull this back together tonight and make both hot at the same time.
How do you think they were going to react to it?
If you look at the going down the line now, the chronology of MVP has never said, I'll take a week off, lads. He's always said, I'm actually pissed off that you haven't killed these guys sooner. So that's a clear bit of, politicking from the MVP character.
Doing it while they're not looking.
Doing it while they're not looking. And as I said, like I don't watch a show as a trope, but, I'm consistent. Dominic, I think it's so stupid that he was like, oh, nothing on the show can affect me. Like, he's too entitled and stupid to think that people might be conspiring against you or whatever. Lashley's got that, I'm going to come here to kick ass. Nothing personal. I'm just here to make a bit of money and do kick ass in the process. I'm not interested in the goings on. It's like, do I need to scout the competition? No, I'll just murk all of them, So I can understand why he wouldn't. So MVP has deliberately said, take the week off. It's fine. And then he's gone, all right, okay, well, let's go and see MJF because there's going to be friction like MJF versus Bobby Lashley. I mean, I don't know what the hell's going on here, but it's this is what's so cool about the angle. It's not that Russo, what? Because it's not. It just simply isn't. But because it's so out of left field, I'm thinking, I can't even begin to fantasy book that. Hence, well, I simply must watch the TV program to, decode what's going on. So no, I'm very, very intrigued. That is the apt word.
You always say good and bad. There's good and bad predictable and good and bad unpredictable, and this is good unpredictable. Like, it's just too difficult right now with the information we have to forecast the ending here. Like, the Hurt Syndicate were on the cusp of an organic babyface turn if they weren't like babyfaces and all but name on the roster backstage because of the cheers they were getting. And then all of a sudden, the heel leaning mouthpiece goes to the biggest heel in the company, in company law, the worst guy, and says, come aboard. Like, it immediately does feel like either friction or the start of a feud because he rejects the offer or whatever. But then if he rejects the offer, does that even make him a heel or a babyface? This is obviously a plan. I have absolute faith that they've got the next 7 steps mapped out, but I can't read it right now. But I like that.
Now, Sidge, look at my notes here. There is just the one women's match advertised for tonight. But we were just talking in the office there that there was allusions to Billy Starks versus Mercedes.
Money.
Happening this week. So could it be the end of Ladies' Night?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know what's going on, but I just can't see the game ending.
Did they do that at Dynasty, maybe? Say for Dynasty, Starks, Monet?
She could always just kick her ass in the backstage segment.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a big...
I think it's TV. Said this the other week.
I mean, I would hope so.
Did you see they found the 2015 video package?
Yeah.
And she's in the Bailey Hugger t-shirt.
Yeah.
Is she?
Match. Yeah, it's brilliant. That sort of stuff. And then Mercedes has been able to say, I mean, I was really good at making kids dressing like that cry back then, so I have no problem doing it again.
Yeah, I do like that. And I do think there's something that Billy Starks, I don't think she's got it at the level needed. She's got a really cool thing going on with the character. Good TV character, good episodic character. She's got the mental part of it down. She looks like she's doing a fist pump when she's throwing a clothesline. Like she doesn't move particularly well, not dynamic, not really hard hitting, and just the anti-intent behind what she does. The old Madison Rain.
Sorry.
Remember her matches on Dynamite?
Yeah.
Now.
The narrative was worse. I was like, she's the coach.
Yes, but coaches aren't the best players.
Right.
Look at Eddie Howe. She just won a trophy.
Yeah.
And he was a lower league player.
Yeah.
Never really fancied for like a move up the ladder. And then his career was cut short in his late 20s.
Regal stunk.
Look at him. He could be the best English manager in history, or one of them.
Yeah.
Eddie Howe.
Albert.
What about him going to England after Tuchel?
Too much of a workaholic. I think he'll go when he's like, in 10 years. He's only 47, is Eddie? He's not international manager age, and he won't be for a good 10, 15 years. Honestly, it's an elite club coming in from. That's my worry now. Like, there was a bit of a thing midway through the season when some fans were just like expressing like their cynicism about things and just like wondering if he's run out of rope. And I think those fans did say, ultimately, if you saw the actual breaking news on BBC Sport, you'd actually be devastated. But he did talk himself. These fans did talk themselves into thinking as he done everything he can do.
They did.
Now, like, Jesus Christ, like,
Statue.
why not?
Trophy, innit?
Trophy, get it. Pep signed the new deal, didn't he, at Man City? If I'm like Man U, Man City, Arsenal, like Eddie Howe's top of the list. He's top of the list.
Saw someone saying now Spurs should go for him. Why would he go to Spurs?
When Man City was sliding down the league, did anybody just like grab Guardiola and be like, Pep, see, plunge?
No, because not everyone's a fed-pilled head who just does wordplay.
Kind of a Ring of Honor joke, if anything. It's all good stuff.
So no Starks and Monet tonight, but the one women's match we know is definitely happening is the number one contender, Megan Bane, taking on Chris Statlander.
Here's something, right? Because, yes, by shenanigans, Megan Bane won the first match, which is really quite well done, considering I still think Megan Bane's quite green. I mean, look, yeah. Run away when there's a chair on your face, god damn it. And Statlander did a tremendous job. And I think Bane's got something, but, you know, everyone at that level of experience needs the hand held to a degree, and she's the best hand holder in that business, is Chris Statlander. Beating her twice is not something I would do when she could be the world champion. Quite easily, Chris Statlander at some point this year. Leading me to speculate, and I don't think it's a good idea considering Rhea Ripley, Bianca could go tremendously hard, irrespective of how much of a child Rhea Ripley is portraying on TV. This could be a three-way.
Ooh.
Dynasty.
Tony Storm did sort of call out the whole division.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there could be some kind of multi-person scenario here. Basically, it does seem like...
Oh, Rich's 3 or 4 ways. Hoist somebody else in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe Thunder Rosa.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Willow Nightingale's kicking around again.
Yeah, and then they can explore the Chris Statlander-Willow relationship in that match. Yeah. Marina Shafir could take Willow out of it. It just feels like ordinarily you saw Megan Bane beat up Tony Storm on the post-Revolution Dynamite. Your brain thinks, all right, okay, that's the Dynasty match. But Statlander isn't like... I don't know, who's a babyface that they like to beat. Or anyone. Robin Renegade on Collision, you know, it's a different...
Queen Aminata.
Yeah. It's a different deal, this. So I'm going to watch this match thinking I don't know necessarily who's going to win. If they're going to go all the way with Bane. It seems a bit early for me. And a three-way would sort of protect it, not make her have to do too much in there. And she can be flattered and put in a role like Obafemi. Is a good example. Like, you can get protected and your limitations can be sort of obscured in the context of a three-way match. So that might be where we're going.
I've talked myself into 4-way now. Like Willow Nightingale, probably, because she was in the mix last week again. Not out of nowhere, but just she's a weird character to leave out sometimes and then just drop back in.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, the way Megan Bane's been targeting everybody, the way Tony Storm called out everybody, Statlander's, too big to be just... Yeah, she's on a bit of a losing streak, but to be beaten here and then out of the title picture further as a result seems weird for Stat. So, like, and the thing with... We've said this before, you have to be really careful. Even booking a losing streak where you can actually track the results, you still need to be really careful treating these women like they're getting the exact same amount of television time and investment as the men. Because they never are. So if this was Hangman Page, which I've often compared Statlander to, when she loses, people feel it and want her to get back up and try again. And she's got all the same sort of like lore within AEW as Hangman Page, but who's the one that gets like the actual television time and as a result gets all the more focus. It's not just as simple as doing the phrase we hear, meet and drink of the actual results. Awful phrase.
I hate that as a phrase. Well, that's meet and drink for a goalkeeper.
I don't like it.
The ick.
I think it's because I picture it as like some sort of, like when you would have those like...
Michael Scott's dipping his... It's in the red wine.
Steak into the wine. Sort of, but more in like medieval-y times. Like Game of Thrones.
You would have loved medieval times, you.
Elements of it I would.
All of those feasts.
Feasts, but like you got to do killing and that. And there's no podcasts. There's no wrestling.
I like the wenches. That's what I would have liked back then.
No podcasts. I like wenches.
It wouldn't be for me. Do you ever have to go to one of them ones?
The books and wenches are just
very buxom, yeah.
I don't like that sort of stuff in general. You ever go to one of those Christmas parties where it's like, verily, I will serve you mead and you have to eat your Christmas dinner with a dagger. Can I just have a knife and fork? Like, no, sir, and do request it in our native tongue.
So I'm on the planning committee this year, so I'm going to try and medieval times.
Pig, and it's just like...
And it's 2025, mate. Come on.
Put it in fillet.
I do not know these years you speak of. Gregorian calendars, sir. Yes.
What is this
December.
mystery technology on your wrist?
Yeah, it's all well and good until 11:30 when you start playing Slade on your mysterious music box, sir. Spotify? Which is it? Yeah, that's what meat and drink makes me think of.
So with the only women's match on the card, we have to get to the name of the game. Before that, let's get to the aim of the game.
The aim of the game? It's sadder every bloody week, this. Jesus Christ. Tony Mariah was so awesome.
This game's been going on so long, Newcastle have won a trophy.
I know. Newcastle United have won a trophy. Jesus, not a great point. Before Tony Khan has decided to frequently book 2 competitive women's matches on Dynamite. I mean, Jesus Christ.
There was another ladies' night signed on Collision, by the way. Shout out to everyone who... Someone said, I think, make ladies' night happen, I think he said.
The campaign is building momentum.
Yeah, let's go. Let's keep it going. If anyone's in Nebraska.
You seen the
aha! That's where the alternative goals.
The aim of the game. Sorry, go on.
You seen the Fed football belts? It's the
Yeah.
latest thing they're doing. You know, like when the sports teams win the Super Bowl or whatever, they've got like football ones now. And there's like one for like Man United, Man City.
I think there's a United one.
Is it not a United one?
There's a City one.
Bayern Munich, like biggest clubs in Europe and all that sort of stuff. And, you know, on this European tour, they're probably selling £1,000 or whatever. There's a West Ham one. Because it's Triple H's team, isn't it? Hammer or something? I don't know. Is this thing? Like, I'm assuming the deal couldn't have been made, and maybe like we were talking about Man United and Arsenal were notable, but Liverpool, I think.
Bayern Munich haven't got one.
That was it, yeah. And it's like maybe those clubs couldn't come to like a licensing agreement because they were like conspicuous by their absence. Like it'd be funny if like they'd gone round the back and I made a Fulham one or something.
Yeah.
Like, what the is that? That's not great.
It's the one thing that isn't great.
Fulham WWE title.
I'll tell you who isn't going to win any Premier League trophies for equality, and that's Tony Khan. Because there's only one, like 99% of the time, there's only one competitive women's match on Dynamite, or only one match with women on Dynamite at all. So we'll play this game called Ladies Night, but we'll get to the aim before, you know. It's called Ladies Night. The aim of the game is to identify to the hour, minute, and second the first time you hear the first note for the first woman to come out and compete for the only women's match on Dynamite, with the idea being DiCaprio. Yeah, I'm noticing a pattern. Because that women's match usually starts at around the 1 hour 20 to 1 hour 25 minute range. And I'm thinking, why then and why only one? So I start noticing. And I notice that, hang on, is the psychology here as brutally sad as Warner, Tony Khan, combination
you're
of
the same colours as the DiCaprio?
Okay. Because,
See me when you did that.
I mean, it's the wrong one.
No, but,
Yeah.
but.
I'm in the middle of a flow.
I'm sorry. You didn't say polo neck.
All right, okay, that's good. So now I'm thinking, hang on. Is it so brutally sad as Warner or Tony Khan or a combination of the two thinking, but I'll have to put the bloody birds on? Ugh, yeah, I know, but it's 2020. It's 2020. It's 2019. It's 2025. It's all the same to me. These bloody wogs. It's kicking off constantly about everything. We have to appease these bloody people, okay, by having bloody birds on the show. Even though, you know, Statlander over Jericho. I'm not over Jericho. There's so many women I'd rather see over so many dull blokes on Dynamite, but they think that we don't want to see bloody birds too much. Hang on, if we just put them before the main event, surely the psychology here is they've already sat and watched it. They have a bit of sunk cost fallacy if they don't stick around and watch the bloody blokes in the main event. Yeah, that is genius. Right, okay, so we'll put one match on. Yep, have to. Right, okay, but that's the perfect time to do it, isn't it? Yeah, sure is. And I think that's what's going on here. Personally, I do think that's what's going on. I think it's been going on for too long. Sadly. So that is the pattern I've noticed. But you're right, though. I can hear you already. You're right. You're saying, Sid, this is a mouthful. Can you possibly jinglize what you perceive to be the this cynical thought process that you are determined and bound to underline, italicize, and put in bold. Yeah, sure can. Don't worry about that. Don't worry, guys. When the women come out to play, the main event ain't too far away. That's the aim of the game. The name of the game is... He only books guys every week on Dynamite. Let me remind, Mox and Cope so f***ing dry. It's not alright. Time for Jericho to go home. To the Fed, please go away. Too many blokes on the show. Too many blokes, too many blokes, too many blokes on the show. Hayes from Blythe. You'll never ever beat Dan Burn. Hayes from Blythe. You'll never ever beat Dan Burn. Ladies' night.
Brilliant.
Good stuff.
It's all good stuff.
I've seen the video of the fat lad in the nightclub who gets really annoyed because the DJ is playing it. He's like building up to it. He's like, come on, pretty green eyes, pretty green eyes. The bloke goes, come on, sing along. Chicken fried rice.
Love that. Love that. That's the best song in the world.
Yeah,
and he's playing
it.
fried chicken fries. That is
every time.
all-timer footage. That guy, he goes to like Benidorm 10 times a year or something.
Yeah.
And you think, well, so you probably had your fill. Pretty Green Eyes or Spotify. But no.
I like that.
Or there, in that moment, in that vibe. Fried chicken and fries, it's the best song in the world.
Hamflett. Sorry, thanks as always to the Panda Blair himself. Adam Blair at Adam Wilton 4 and Jose Palomares at the Ho 11, the guy who's always take care of the
data.
Thanks for this sort of thing. Hamflett, you got the win last week, taking you to 2 for the year. But going first, the pressure's on.
Yeah.
What are you going to go with, especially with the street fight and? Well.
Yeah, I'll not go down Bastards Trick Avenue this week and just try and do your 1, 2, 3. Because of the street fight, them lads are going to need 30 to 40, easy. So I'm going to say first hour, City Jones.
Oh.
But not too long. 5 minutes in the first hour is more than enough, sir. I'll just go 30 minutes dead.
Okay.
Which is also a way to describe Cope versus Mox.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, obviously for me.
Yeah.
Never going to change.
Never going to change.
I did have the idea of first hour, but especially when they've been doing Route 1 for a long time.
They love to.
It feels like
it's to pull a rug, don't they?
They do like the pull a rug and go, oh, come on, too cynical, Sidgwick. The one women's match is actually going to be 40 minutes earlier. I think 1:10, 11.
Sort of spread.
This is the kind of guy I am.
Let us know your thoughts on everything we discussed in the comment section below or on X at WhatCulture WWE. Watch, they can follow all 3 of us. You can follow Michael Hamflett at
Michael Hamflett.
Follow Michael Sidgwick at
M. Sidgwick.
Follow me at Adam Wilbourn. Follow us all at WhatCulture WWE and make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling wherever you get your podcasts from for daily wrestling podcasts. We'll be back to review AEW Dynamite tomorrow. And of course, the NXT review is coming your way later on today. But for now, it's been the Dynamite preview. My thanks to Hamflett, Sidgwick. Thank you for joining us. And we will see you soon.